There are almost 1 million fly tipping incidents in England every year. It blights communities and our countryside. Fly tipping in Essex is draining more than £1 million of taxpayers' money each year. Almost 50% of people don't know they are responsible by law if their rubbish is fly tipped by a third party. Richard Gardner, Environmental Health and Safety Officer for Essex, is about to meet with his team to discuss reports of a large fly tip which has been reported in the area.
We've got that huge fly tip again on Old House Lane. Yeah. I'm going to go out, have a look. If I get any evidence, I'll pass it to you guys. Plan is to go down there. I've got to make sure we're going to put our stickers on it, to make sure that anybody who's walking down there knows that we've checked it out, so we're ready to go. Yeah, all good.
We have a major fly tipping problem in this area, and we're going to be looking for evidence to see who might have fly tipped it, which is, generally speaking, is trying to find some evidence in the fly tip that leads to who held the waste in the first place. You see an area like this, you realise that if once people are intent on fly tipping and have got it on board, the chance of us catching them first hand is extremely difficult. So we need to cut off the supply of waste to fly tippers. And that's where residents really need to fulfil their duty. It's a legal requirement to check who you give your waste to. And if you do that, you protect yourself from the law, from us taking action against you, but you also can provide evidence, vital evidence, for us to track fly tippers. See, there might be evidence in there. I mean, my immediate thought is that's just a resident who's come here and fly tipped directly. But as you can see how time-consuming doing this is, and we've got no evidence from this. So that's why we need residents to make sure who they give their waste to is legitimate as far as they can, and cover themselves. So if we found evidence here, we'd go and speak to that person and say, who did you give your waste to? Now, they'll either fly tipped to themselves or they gave it to somebody. If they say they gave it to somebody, the first question is, who did you give it to? Did you check if they're registered? And if they didn't, they've committed an offence. Now, that's not what we're after. We're after the person who tipped it here, but that's all we've got. That's the offence, and we will follow that up because, as you'll see in a minute, the problem is huge. This is a bridleway here. I mean, quite nice if there's not lots of fly tipping, but as you can see, opens up into some substantial fly tipping. This is off the side of the bridleway, so this waste here, most of it, will be down to the landowner to remove. But we'll carry on round. Got more building material here, bags of. When we interview people, I don't want them to think they can just come in and say, well, I gave it to somebody, that's okay. It's all right that it got fly tipped there, because it wasn't me, because I gave it to somebody. But that's not correct. One, you have broken the law, and secondly, not caring has given that waste to somebody who's just profiteering. You can see they've just come down here and they just fly tipped. And if you paid them money, they're just taking your money and put you at risk of being prosecuted. This is what people risk when they leave their fridge out. Take your money, 50 quid, it risks end up coming here, and then as a householder you risk being prosecuted for not caring, not complying with your duty of care. You can see how rural this area is. If you imagine, how could we possibly regularly catch fly tippers in this area? It's just, so as soon as the point is, when they've got the waste in their hands, us trying to catch them in this area, depositing it here, extremely difficult.
Fly tipping has become a real problem. It's costing over £1 billion a year to clear up. That's £1 billion we could be spending on far more important things. It damages the environment, it makes communities feel that they're out of control, and generally speaking, it makes people feel unsafe. So we need to get to grips with fly tipping, and this campaign, Crime Not to Care, is about raising awareness and making sure that householders understand that if they don't get rid of their rubbish properly, they could end up with a criminal record. Your rubbish, your responsibility. It's a crime not to care.